has moved on to be team president at Harding Racing. Novak will call the green flag here. Rossi trying to stay right with Wickens. Here they come as the pace car heads to pit road. Green flag, 2 laps to go.
Rossi's close enough.
Looking, turn 1. He slides, there's contact. Wickens spins. Bourdais goes through. Sebastian Bourdais is leading with Graham Rahal behind him. Hinchcliffe inside of Rossi. And Wickens sits stalled in turn 1.
Unbelievable.
Yellow for Wickens' car.
Full course yellow, pits are closed.
Wow. Oh, man.
And that should do it for Sebastian Bourdais. He's going to get the caution at the white flag.
2 years in a row. How about that?
Wow.
Recovering from that accident, coming back here. It's such an eventful race and winning it again.
You know what he's thinking, though, when he saw those guys go around from him, he takes the lead?
I believe this is white flag, Sebastian. I believe this is white flag.
What about that turn of events late in the race? Well, you had to know Rossi was going to go for it if he felt there was any chance. That inside line has been delicate. He got there when he tried to power up, my opinion. You guys are the drivers.
But
it just wouldn't stick.
He was wiggling. I mean, it was a long shot. He had to take it, but it was a long shot.
But it comes back from turns 13, 14. Wickens did not get the drive off of and he didn't do the same style restart previously. So now he looks in his mirror, sees Rossi come on the inside. Perfect line here, but Rossi's already sliding. We talked about less downforce in the car and just hits the back end of Wickens.
Yeah.
See, he didn't have this run on him last time.
He had no choice. He had to go for that. He had no choice. This is where he starts to slide.
Yeah, fans love it. Listen.
What a great race.
See, he wasn't this close.
This will show us. This will show us.
Now, I'll say that the stewards are reviewing the contact between the 6 and 27.
What purpose?
Well, doesn't do 6 any good.
Who cares? Because Rossi's going to finish in 4th, and they could penalize him deeper into the grid.
But they can't give him back.
They can't give Wickens back the win, no.
Yes.
Wow. Well, this day has had more than I think the word you used on the opening was chaos.
Yes.
I've repeated it several times. We finish in chaos as well after a late restart.
Now watch this.
You
the
nailed
car
it, though,
in front,
Scott. You nailed it.
He usually is diming this, comes out of the diamond like a motocross, and he's gassing it now.
No, but what before he got a jump on him. This time he didn't let him. He was right on his gearbox, and he was close enough that he could make a run for it. And when he went, he just went, "I'm going." Kind of like Kanan did at Indy and got away with it.
Checkered flag for Sebastian Bourdais. His second win in his hometown of St. Petersburg. He lives just a few miles from where the race course is set up. He says he's proud to be from St. Petersburg. He's proud to represent the city. I'm proud to be a St. Pete resident.
Do, but take good care of that thing. Don't overheat it, okay?
And must be the team owner.
After what we saw in Indianapolis last May, here he is in victory lane. How cool is that?
And just to define it, that was a horrible moment in his career. To be able to recover from that and come back and win again where he started that run last year. A great race car driver.
Hometown crowd there, bud. Nicely done today.
Now, it's not like he backed into the win because he led the second most laps in this race, got behind on an exchange of pit stops earlier, and just was a little too far back to catch up, but he was in position when the leaders in front of him tangled.
And that's all you have to be there.
Yep.
You have to be close. And you said, well, the first couple of cars come after the restart, but you know from doing this, if you're third, fourth, if you can see and sniff the leader, you think you can win this thing.
I cannot say that Rossi did the right thing. He did the only thing he could. That was for a win.
Have to be just gutted for Robert Wickens. What a drive today. Everybody knows his name now here in the IndyCar audience, but Sebastian Bourdais is going to celebrate in victory lane As we take a look at the final finishing order from today's race, Graham Rahal comes back for second. Hunter-Reay was on pit road when the green flag waved. He comes back for fifth. Will Power crashed and spun around on the second corner of the first lap. He comes back for a top 10.
What a great drive from Graham Rahal. And it's really important for their team after all the work they've done this winter to be able to go away with the second place. And it was looking pretty bad for a moment.
Now, just an asterisk here. If you click on the IndyCar website later and you find some of these positions have shuffled, they do have to go back and review this with all the chaos of the final lap and make sure. But this is how they're scored at the moment, with, of course, Sébastien Bourdais getting the top line on the chart.
You know, it's interesting because I think this new car has taken maybe some of the advantage away from some of the big teams. Wickens, you see there, marked in the 18th spot, and a rookie could have won this race today. We have a bit of the changing of the guard going on, Eddie, with 7 rookies here so far. Yes, Matthias Lace is at the very end of it, but I count for him to possibly win a race this year. It was exactly what his teammate Tony Kanaan said earlier this year.
I would not be shocked if Wickens sticks his nose up there very often this year for a win.
Stewards have reviewed the contact between the 27 and 6. No action will be taken.
So
it's racing.
For me, that was a racing. He didn't run into him. They just were fighting for the same piece of track. What a great win. I'm so proud of that. You've spent time in the hospital. You know what it's like.
Yep.
Sitting in a hospital bed when somebody else is driving a race car.
Well, when we saw him crash at Indianapolis, I was just concerned about his existence.
Yeah.
That was such a hard impact. Really worried for him. And then, honestly, at his age, I thought he might even think about retirement, but he's come back stronger.
Congratulations from Scott Dixon.
A lot of camaraderie in IndyCar.
Coming up to basketball momentarily, NBA Countdown, and then, of course, the Warriors and the Timberwolves on the way momentarily here on ABC. But we want to hear from the winner. You can, I think, see the emotion and the exhaustion that's been taken out of him by, no doubt, a quick thought of where things were back in May and where they are now in victory lane.
That's a true warrior in that car.
I think Seb wants a minute to just rest after that hard-fought day. Is that his dad?
That's great to see.
We're going to jump in right now with Sébastien Bourdais. He is exhausted. Let's talk about the emotional journey that you have had. You won this race a year ago, and that was emotional. What does it feel like today?
Well, this one is emotional because we had to overcome a few bumps and rolls and a ball of fire and a few broken bones to come back in this victory circle. So yeah, I couldn't be any happier for the whole Delcon Racing, Vassar Sullivan and Sealmaster and everybody on board and all the boys. I mean, they worked so hard. It's a tiny group, but you know they worked their tails off, and we didn't have and we just, you know, we pulled it together. We're gonna get a podium, which was awesome, and you know I was really happy for Robert, and you know kind of heartbroken for him, but you know for us it's just such an overcome. You know, it's such an upset. I can't quite put it into words.
After the accident at Indy, there were a lot of people that questioned not whether you would come back, but if you should come back. You right off the bat said you were going to, but there has to be a moment when you thought about it.
No, not really. When I got the verdict of what was broken and that it was going to, you know, heal pretty well, and it was never a question in my mind whether I should continue or stop. And guess I'm glad I did continue.
Sébastien Bourdais, for the second year in a row, uses strategy and a little luck to win the race here in St. Petersburg.
Wow, that's all I can say. Wow, what a day here at St. Pete. What a debut for the new 2018 Verizon IndyCar Series machine. And that, the late restart and the contact racing for the win that sent Sébastien Bourdais through from third into victory lane. After this short break, NBA Countdown presented by Straight Talk Wireless. So long from St. Pete. Bourdais the winner.